In what seemed to be an impossible attempt to save Dixon and O'Donnell, our favorite mountain of a man willingly entered Langston's lair in the penultimate episode of Season 2, Episode 7. The man goes through. Reacher up against a bunch of armed goons in a room. Call me insane, but such odds appeal to me. Amazon renewed its well-liked action series for a third season back in December. Fans of Reacher enjoy the conclusion. The spectacular, cathartic, endlessly entertaining, and satisfying Flyboy Reaper episode closes the second season of the show, and it's off to a bone-crunching beginning. As you recall, our former military policeman turned himself into Langston in order to give himself the best chance of rescuing Dixon and O'Connell. That sounds like Tim Robbins being told to hit the brakes, and they'll fly right by Tom Cruise. Nonetheless, he defeats 8 of Langston's armed men despite having practically 2 hands tied behind his back. Neagley is outside in the interim. She takes out 2 armed guards to neutralize the perimeter with a sniper rifle. At that point, the 3 members of Lavoie's security detail jump out of the factory roof. Neagley diverts the attention of the gatekeeper. The electricity is shut off by Lavoie's squad. Langston is compiling every microchip that AM wants to buy. In order to pick the lock on his handcuffs, Jack takes a thumbtack out of his boot. Then, everything goes haywire. Langston admits that he has been getting around security by using Swan's finger and eyeball. To prevent Jack from killing his entire squad, Langston grabs his revolver. Neagley's survival is revealed to him. It does not make him happy. After shooting O'Connell in the leg, he puts his hand behind his back, forcing Reacher to accept handcuffs. The pals are subsequently told to board a chopper by Langston. They rein fast into their stretchers. According to Langston, he created the impression that Swan was responsible for the heist by using his fingerprint and retinal scan. Then it would appear as though he fled after taking the money. At that point, the lights went out. Now that Reacher, Alan Ritchson, is unrestrained, Lavoie's group walks into the room. It's like a game of whack-a-mole from there. After taking the enemy's gun and killing one enemy, Jack runs out of ammunition. Jack then snatches their weapon and kills another. Repeat after rinsing. With Dixon and O'Donnell, Neagley, Maria Sten, eliminates 2 guys manning the chopper. She goes into the building to help her former employer. She supplies cover fire. Similar to the Kool-Aid Man, Reacher enters the aircraft by running through glass windows. Prior to his departure, even though it does, he is able to seize the back wheel and cling on for dear life. However, at the start of the action, Dixon is going to be thrown out the back by Langston, Robert Patrick. The rear door is ordered to open by Langston. At that point, our favorite ex-MP steps in. Jack gives Langston and his goon a few punches and kicks before stabbing him in the forearm. Dixon gets thrust forward unintentionally. As the stretcher tumbles out of the helicopter, Reacher seizes it. Dixon, Serinda Swan, is strapped to a gurney that is rocking back and forth in the chilly night air while Jack clutches onto her. An overly talkative decent person threatens to kill Reacher with brass knuckles. The ex-MP snatches his face. Dixon releases her hold on life. The knife she is holding was on her former boss's arm. Dixon gives the man a neck stab. Then, Langston gets punched by the ex-MP. Dixon threatens the pilot with a knife. Langston pleads for his life, claiming Jack wants him to know where the purchase is being made. But Reacher informs Langston that assumptions kill when it comes to investigations. Miles above the ground, he throws Langston from the helicopter and gets killed. Because the pilot knows where the AM is waiting, Reacher already knows. Since we don't know which of the 4 weapons bullets completely loaded into AM, let's assume that the terrorist was killed by the special investigators who are still on the scene. Reacher instructs the pilot to land the chopper at the agreed-upon spot. AM shows up with his driver. Neagley shoots and kills the driver. The 4 of them form a line in front of AM as Jack leads them inside. Reacher informs them that he only has a single opportunity to identify his buyer. AM claims he knows it will destroy him, therefore he refuses. He emphasizes that he is only acting as an intermediary. Reacher then shoots him in the abdomen at that point. As the remainder of the unit empties the magazines from their weapons, AM is killed just where he is. Reacher lets the pilot and engineer go inside the barn. But Neagley loads one of the small missile launchers that are mounted on the wing. The plane lifts off. Neagley fires and misses, but the missile is rerouted by the program, causing the chopper to blow up. Although Reacher has previously alerted Homeland Security, Lavoie's team turns on him. The agent gives our MP his phone, and our MP phones Lavoie to break the awful news. At that point, the agent goes into the senator's office to make an arrest. Reacher's season concludes with the former MP donating $65 million to the families of Russo and their unit's deceased colleagues. They made a donation to a nearby animal sanctuary in Swan's honor. They send millions of dollars to Russo's brother and nephew in his name. Reacher registers monies under the names of O'Connell's children and Dixon's LLC in order to launch her own business. In addition, he settled Neagley's father's medical debts and provided care for the remainder of his days. They snap a photo. Dixon and Reacher bid farewell the next day, admitting that their liaison was resolving old issues rather than bringing up new ones. So that Reacher can use the money to buy something for himself, she gets him a toothbrush. Yes, he does. Trailways bus passes are somewhat more than $1,000 for a year. Neagley informs Reacher that he must improve his communication. As he boards the bus, an elderly passenger asks him where he's going. His response? "I'm not sure," he answers.